AKA Patters. Before we get into today's episode, AKA Patters the Football Podcast, by the way, we're doing the best of the best of the year. I just recorded everything you're about to hear, and I just felt like maybe I didn't hit the mark of describing what this documentary is. So we're going to get that right out of the way. And then, I want you guys to hang out with me as I just explain what this documentary means to me. One of One is a Japanese family that no one's ever heard of. No one knows, not even the car enthusiasts. They select their own clients. They're very choosy, but they fix the world's greatest cars. And they work out of a very small garage in Japan. They live off of 7-Eleven and vending machines. And these guys are all about the work. And that is it. Now, they've made money. They sell these cars. They salvage them. They can build a car up from scratch. And they do all the fabrication. It's amazing that they do all of this in such a small, tight space. It's unassuming. But they also do it on their own terms. They don't they don't bend over backwards. They're not on magazine covers. This is a group or a family of individuals dedicated to doing the work, and it's deeply motivating and inspiring. Our director Ben Pertucci does everything he can to make this a great documentary, and I think he achieved it.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
It's the best of 2025. AKA Patters, welcome back to the show of shows. We've been fighting, we've been struggling, getting through the trenches to get back on our regular schedule. Guys, the new year, the last month of the year, always it's chaotic. There's too many things to do, too many people to see, but we are doing the best of the entire year 2025, and we're going category by category. And tonight, it's documentaries. And I want to read something to you from benbertucci.com. Ben Pertucci is an independent filmmaker in the truest sense. Self-taught and self-guided. I love that. I love self-guided. So cheers to you, Ben. We just had a sip of some 3-day-old coffee. AKA Patters. If I know there's no dairy product in my coffee, so some of my black coffee cups float around the studio, float around the AKA production pad, if you will, for days. I really don't care. I need it sometimes. Gotta take a sip. One of One. That's today's subject. And I have to tell you, I went into this documentary almost already liking what I saw in the trailer and the some of the initial imagery. I didn't do any Google search. I just went into this with what I knew, which was these guys work on cars. No one's ever heard of them. And it's a unsuspecting garage / house, and that's all these guys do. And I went back and forth for a while because I believe on Amazon Prime the price of the documentary dropped from $15 to $10 for a little bit, and I didn't quite move, and I don't know why I froze. Then it shot back up to 15, and then there you go, right? Variable pricing. I got pissed off, bought it, watched it, and went into a busy work day afterwards. Because as we're recording this, sometimes we just wake up 3-4 o'clock in the morning, aka Patters, and we're all go. And I'm telling some of the guys I work with, because we're pretty much in a not full crisis mode. And you guys know I work in IT, but things have to get done and corrected in a particular fashion. And we're just trying to figure out the order of this because someone, different contractor, screwed up a major project. So we get through the little sit down, and a lot. My role with some of this a lot of times is part PM to really just organize the steps and figure out who knows what and what are the gaps, like how do we, or do we just get to the next point, or like the next phase, and then what do we have to do to get over that. So I tell them about this documentary, and I say, look, you guys have to watch this documentary. It's very much like us, and I get it. I'm choosing the best documentary that I felt like spoke to me, but I think this is the strength of Ben Pertucci, because the way he portrays these guys, and the way how he speaks about them. These guys are all about the work. They're not really about the fame. They're not really about working on a 1 of 20 Ferrari or a Volvo that's perfectly restored, that's museum quality. These guys are about digging themselves into a hole. And you basically do that sometimes as a creator, where you kind of create your own nest. Like, that's what I was looking for. Like, these guys have a nest, and the documentary like showcases their lifestyle and talks about the history and the father and the path of the father. Very similar. I know that this is not the it might be like the best comparison, but the life of Benny Hanna really reminded me of the father, the Nadio father. That's the family that puts these cars together, and he tells us the story of their lives and how they work, and then eventually Ben himself, I love this part of the documentary where he gets like excommunicated out of the family while he's shooting the documentary. And this is post mishap. He kind of doesn't wake up for the alarm, and they're Japanese. They're a different culture. The way that this is going to be dealt with is very differently than the way you would deal with it in America. But he describes the entire process, and that pulls you in and just validates that this is a living, breathing documentary. I've seen it a couple times since initial watch, and this is a lifestyle. These are individuals. This is something you wouldn't normally know about. Even if you're a car enthusiast, it's most likely you never heard of these guys. But what Ben does is, no matter what the interest level is of the audience, he tells a story, he pulls you in, and educates you along the way. And I think this is one of the documentaries that have a insane high bar, like very high bar for education. I just absolutely love it. So, AKAPADers, I feel like sometimes when I know I don't get into the topic of the movie enough, I kind of sign off and say, we'll get to more of this later, cause sometimes when we do sit down for the AKAPAD Film Buff podcast, it's emotion. I'm excited. I want you guys to watch something. I want some feedback on it. I want some validation myself. But I feel like in this case, we will speak about this documentary further down the road, because I also view it as a creative documentary. These guys are creative individuals. They are problem solvers. Very similar to my IT work. And yes, there's a dopamine hit when you breach that. So, AKAPADers, Ben Pertucci gave us the best documentary of 2025. 1 of 1. that's about fixing up cars.
Okay, that's a wrap.